Hi, I'm Rashida Rudy Cotter here to talk about Rudra Yoga. And in this one, we're going to talk about foundation. This is our first course in the 20-course program. And to begin looking at what will create a strong foundation for us to be the way we want to be and feel the way we want to feel all the time and create the kind of world that we want to live in, we need to get quiet and feel what would be a guiding principle and what would be a simple exercise that would help us remember ourselves. How do we remember how we want to be and feel all the time? And what do we do when we feel that contraction, when we feel we're getting smaller, we're getting stuck, we're getting fearful and limited? What is that exercise that we can do to start opening up those spaces again and clarify those spaces and expand? So there's always going to be something that we want to clear out, limiting thoughts, limiting patterns of actions, thoughts, and feelings. And then there's going to be things that we need to cultivate or muscles to grow stronger so that we can really hold an intention or a vision and be able to see it all the way through to manifestation, moving through whatever perceived obstacles come up and use those as opportunities to grow and expand and become bigger than we were before. In Rudra Yoga, the simple description starts out by saying, Rudra Yoga is a primitive and unadorned path to perfection. It has one idea and one exercise. So what is this one idea and one exercise? In Foundation, we give you one. And later, as you work with the practices and work with yourself, this can become very targeted and refined and very particular to you. But first, we give you a simple one. And the idea is remember rather than react. And think about two R's, the letter R, going in opposite directions. So they're back to back and they face, one faces to the left, we're going to call that back, and one faces to the right, we're going to call that forward. So the R that's facing backwards is the react. When we react, we are being in the present moment, but we're acting as if we're in the past. We're reacting to something in the past, and we're not being truly present with the moment. So in order to be present in the moment, we need to remember. So that's going forward and progressing to remember. Remember what? Remember to relax, be open in the present. Remember ourselves as beings of light and energy rather than, again, something solid and fixed with lots of identities. So we can be more open than all of our identities. And what is the exercise? The exercise is given to us by Swami Rudrananda. And this is one of our reasons that we talked about that we have the name Rudra Yoga. So Swami Rudrananda taught a simple double breathing exercise to help us open up and dissolve our constricted places, our tensions, our unconscious habits, and so forth. So we have an idea, remember rather than react. And we have an exercise, we call it Rudra meditation or Rudra flow. So I'm going to let you have a little experience of this meditation practice. And we first get quiet and have the spine nice and tall. You can sit on a seat, on a stool. You can sit on the floor. That part doesn't matter, just as long as the spine can be comfortably upright. And you can feel your base on the floor or on a seat, so your pelvis and the base of your spine. And you can feel the top of your head, the crown of your head lifted towards the sky. And in this posture, being relaxed in the shoulders, feeling open in the chest, we're going to inhale slowly through the nose and hold the breath in the heart. And we hold the breath in the heart for about the count of 10. In the beginning, it's a slow count of 10. And we simply relax and let the breath, the pressure of the breath, expand out in the heart in all directions And we just begin to soften and open. Then we exhale a fifth of the breath. We inhale again through the nose. And now we hold the breath, but we let the belly muscles relax. And that drops the breath down into the belly area, down into the navel area, the digestive area. And we kind of feel the pelvis like a big bowl, holding the energy, holding the breath. And again, we're going to hold for about a slow count of 10 and let the breathing expand out, or the held breath expand out. And that is going to start to ignite our digestive energies. Then we slowly exhale the breath. And after that exhale, we simply relax. So that is one cycle, this one double breathing exercise to inhale, hold in the heart, begin to open and soften. When you're doing that, you can also ask for what you need, ask to help yourself through conditioned patterns, through feeling constricted, through feeling a particular emotion. And then when you exhale a fifth and you drop the breath down into the belly, now we're beginning to digest that experience. We react from the past, or we react because we're worried about the future. And this is helping us to stay in the present moment. And with these held breaths, there are sensations going on of the breath spreading in the heart and spreading in the navel area. And along with that, there can be temperature, there can be heat, and there can be other vibrations going on. Eventually, this awakens the spine and the Kundalini energy that is to be activated or allowed to move freely up the spine and into the higher chakras or centers. So let's try it again. You can close your eyes at first and begin to just imagine your internal space, a quiet space, a sacred space. And Rudy says, inhale high up through the nostrils and keep inhaling. And when the breath passes the throat, pause a moment to swallow and clear any constriction in the throat chakra. And then continue inhaling into the heart chakra and hold. We cultivate a deep need to grow, to expand beyond our limitations. We exhale a fifth of the breath and re-inhale. Hold the breath again with the belly muscles relaxed so the breath can drop into the lower part of the body. And Rudy invites us to rock a little side to side on the spine to help settle the breath down deeper. And then when we need to, we exhale, always exhaling with control, nice and slow, and feeling the release of the breath, which has a kind of blissful quality to it. By doing even one cycle of that double breathing exercise, we have refined some energy. That exhale is exhaling out some refined energy that we can use for our creative purposes. And when we're resting, we can simply rest and feel nourished by that energy we just made. Let's do another breath like that. We'll inhale through the nostrils, high up in the nose. We can think of our channels as curving around the brain. And as they come down and pass through the throat, if we feel any constriction there, we can pause and swallow. If not, just keep inhaling to the heart and hold in the heart. Remember, we're going to hold for a while, but not so much that we're gasping for air, but we do want to feel a pressure build and the breath expanding out in all directions in the heart center. We want to feel an opening there. We could cultivate a prayer in our heart there as well. And then we exhale a fifth of the breath and re-inhale. Hold breath and let the breath drop down into the belly, to the navel chakra. Again, feel the expansion of breath, filling this cavity. Try to soften everything around where you're holding the breath so the subtle prana can move. And then slowly exhale the breath. And then relax your breathing, relax yourself. And Rudy recommends that in between, in the beginning at least, that you do navel breathing. So you inhale and push the belly out a little bit. You exhale and pull the belly in a little bit, trying to drop your center of gravity below the waistline. And notice if by doing this breath in the heart and holding in the navel is starting to calm and settle yourself a bit. It tends to calm us and get us out of our head, out of the noisy thinking mind that stirs up the emotional stuff. And then lastly, we have a lot of support for this exercise with beings who are awake. And I have some beings behind me here. So we have Yogi Bhajan, and we have the Mother of Oroville and Ananda Mayima on the wall. I have Muktananda over my shoulder here and a statue of Saraswati. So it's helpful to have beings who have the awakened state and have the energy of being open and clear and liberated. And we can do this double breathing exercise also by opening the eyes and gazing into the eyes of one awake and asking for help to also become awake. So you have something you can experiment with now as a one idea, remember, rather than react, and a one exercise, Rudra meditation or Rudra flow, this double breathing exercise to change our tensions or limitations, our limiting thoughts and patterns back into essential energy for our creative purposes. Thanks for listening.